And because of all of those things, I've been able to effortlessly manifest so many of my other desires and keep them, because the foundation of my self-concept is, hey y'all, it's Taj. Welcome back to the channel, and I'm back today with some more free tea. So today I want to talk to you guys about how I personally leveled up my self-concept and how I'm able to maintain everything that I manifest. So if you're interested in this video, then just keep on watching. So you guys, this is in no particular order. These are just things that I thought of when I was doing this video. These are just things that I know for sure has helped me become more aware of the thoughts that I'm thinking about myself and about other people. So one of the first things I became aware of is how I judged and criticized others. I realized that judgment and criticism of other people is just projection, meaning how I'm seeing them is really at the capacity of how I'm seeing myself. So I just became super aware of that, and I became more compassionate, more accepting, more forgiving, more loving. I became kinder, not just to myself, but to other people. But this awareness to like how I criticize and judge others was like, dang, that's really how you do yourself on a deeper level, like in your mind about certain things. And that's not okay. So I started being super aware of my thoughts and what I was projecting, and all that good stuff. So yeah, that's just one of the things. I just became super aware of that, and just started really nurturing that aspect of myself. Okay. So the second thing that leveled up my self-concept is nothing and no one disturbs my peace. Like, my peace is so important to me. Like, I don't care who you are, mom, dad, grandma. Like, if a relationship, a situation, person, place, thing, I do, whatever, if it is not adding value to me, if it is not reinforcing the positive beliefs that I already have about myself, if it's just disrupting my peace in any way, like, I can't entertain it. I can't be around. I remove myself, right? So I protect my peace at all costs, because it is very important to me how I feel throughout the day. It's very important to me how I feel when I'm around certain people. And if I don't like how I feel, if I don't feel safe, if I feel, just being around certain people can cause your nervous system to like really act up, and you can start experiencing anxiety. So I just became super aware and of how I feel, how things and people and places and experiences make me feel. And if it doesn't feel good to me, to my soul, to my spirit, if I ain't rocking with it, I ain't rocking with it, period. So on to my next thing, it's just learning to say no. And in doing this, in protecting my peace, in learning to say no, I am at the same time putting myself first. I am subconsciously implying to myself that I am the priority. I matter. My feelings matter. My happiness matters. My joy matters. My peace matters. How my feelings matter. Who I am matters. And I'm prioritizing that, right? I'm prioritizing that for myself. And at first, it was kind of difficult to say no. It was difficult to prioritize and create boundaries for people, especially family members and parents and grandparents, right? It's uncomfortable at first, but you have to do it because you are in charge of you. You are responsible for you at the end of the day. So I'm saying it's uncomfortable because, at first, you're when you're creating boundaries, you're becoming someone different, right? Someone that people, if you were once a person who really didn't create boundaries, and then you just start creating boundaries, like, people around you are gonna be like, what's up? What's wrong with her? Like, why she acting funny? You know what I mean? But eventually they will realize that it's not anything personal towards them. I know y'all don't like this word, but I want to say it's not personal. It's vibrational. It's frequency. It's energy, right? That's important to me. How I'm feeling is important to me. And so, but now, that I've created these boundaries and I learned to say no, people respect that. People now, I feel, respect my time and my energy in the same manner that I respect my time and energy. So not only have I prioritized myself, they also now have prioritized me in a way as well. So there you go. Everyone is you pushed out. This is how I've been able to level up my self-concept, by putting myself first and prioritizing me, period. And so the next thing I want to move on to, and the last thing, is I started doing studying the 5 love languages, right? And I had studied the 5 love languages and read the book, and also read the 5 levels of attachment, which to me, whatever. I was going to say kind of go hand in hand, but I read them around the same time. I'll just say that, right? And I was able to learn things from both books to apply, or to implement into my self-love, self-care regimen. But basically, instead of, like, in the past, I studied the 5 love languages so that I could connect with my partner, right? To see how I want to be loved, and I can tell them how I want to be loved. And so they could tell me how they like to be loved, and then I can love them in the way they want to be loved, right? But then when I started leveling up my self-concept, and keep in mind, I didn't go on a journey and say, oh, let me level up my self-concept. Like, no, these are just things that naturally happen. This was my inspired action, and I'm going to do a video on inspired action soon, so you guys stay tuned for that. But this is the normal, natural evolution of who I am and who I was becoming and coming into, right? The space that I'm leveling up to. So me leveling up my self-concept just kind of happened for me. But where I was going with this is instead of me studying the 5 love languages for a partner, I started studying them and implementing them for myself. So acts of service. How can I do acts of service for myself every single day? Quality time, physical touch, all the 5 love languages, right? And so for me, I realized where I was deficient at within myself, because we have to fill our own cups, right? It is my job to make myself feel loved, and to understand that I'm valuable and I'm worthy and all those things. No one else outside of me can validate that. I have to do that for myself. And the way that I did this was through the 5 love languages. And of course, I'm not implementing these 5 love languages every single day, but what was most important to me, and again, what I realized I was lacking within myself, or that I was not consistent enough in, was acts of service. And what are acts of service? Oh man, I didn't print out my other notes. I have so many notes, you guys, on this, but I printed out the wrong one. So I'll just have to say it off the top of my head. But, acts of service is anything. Like, it's grooming. It's taking care of yourself. It is making sure that you have a clean, organized home and space, because you deserve it. When your space is clean, you think better. You're in a better headspace. You're just in a better mood, right? When you groom yourself and you take care of yourself, and I do hair steams and face steams and just all the self-care things that women and people do in general. I do all those things, but sometimes we can fall off with ourselves and certain things that we need, because for just different reasons. So these are just things that I've decided to prioritize for myself, and I make it a point to wake up every day and set the intention and say, okay, what do I need from myself today? What do I need? And it depends on what mood I'm in. You know what you need by the mood that you're in. So that's all I'll say for that. It's just learning to implement the 5 love languages for yourself, and learn to love yourself in all the 5 love languages and more, So I really just started putting myself first, prioritizing myself, my peace, saying no when I didn't want to say yes, no more people pleasing, like none of that. And if anybody takes anything personally, that's on them and not on me, So, and the last thing I'll say about how I've been able to just level up my self-concept is just by literally falling in love with myself through all of the things that I've mentioned in this video, and just so much more, just learning to appreciate who I am and everything that I have to offer to myself and to the world. So yeah, those are just some of the things for me that were very important in leveling up my self-concept. And because of all of those things, I've been able to effortlessly manifest so many of my other desires, and keep them, because the foundation of my self-concept is what I just talked about in this video. So yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. And until next time, I will see you guys in the next one. Sending nothing but peace, love, and blessings. Happy manifesting.